Hey everybody, Kate here. Today I have a story I want to share with you in the hopes that it might help you avoid a similar mistake that I made. The one that is a bit embarrassing, to be honest, to share with you, but the lesson is crystal clear for me now, and if it can help you be crystal clear about something in your own life, all the better for it. This story is about how I wasted a ton of money because of actions I took, or rather, actions I didn't take. So, here's the story. In early 2016, I noticed my check engine light come on in my car. That's never good, I thought. So I took it into the dealership to have them check, and they put that little machine on my car to help determine why the check engine light came on. However, the mechanic who worked on it said, nothing's wrong, and they shut the check engine light off. And I thought to myself, that's weird. Wouldn't there be something wrong if the car is telling me that something is wrong? That check engine light's a symptom, right? This happened a few more times. The check engine light would come on, I'd bring it into the mechanic, and they'd say, well, nope, doesn't look like anything's wrong, and they'd shut it off. I didn't understand how that could be possible, but they were experts, so I trusted them. Time went on, months and months passed by, and the check engine light came on one day, and it never shut off. And I thought to myself, well, they said nothing was wrong, I'll just leave it. Despite the fact that there was a real pit in my stomach that maybe I should be looking at this. Maybe I should be trying to figure out what's going on here. Not to mention a fear that, man, what if I find out what's going on and it's insanely expensive to deal with? Then what? So I ignored it. And I kept going. I know. You're probably thinking, Kate, no. I ignored it. Around the same time, and in concurrency with this happening, although I didn't yet realize that the two could be one and the same issue going on, I started having trouble with my gas mileage. It went down a lot. And I thought, well, the car is 10 years old now. Maybe that's just one of those things that happens with age. It just stops having good gas mileage. And this wasn't subtle gas mileage either. This was major decrease in how far I could get on a tank of gas. Now I know, looking from the outside in, you're likely thinking, how could you not have gone to get a million other opinions? Sometimes when you're not ready, or you don't think that you're ready to deal with whatever's going to come up, you just don't deal with it. So, one day, in late 2017, early 2018, not long ago at the time of recording this, I went in for an oil change to a new mechanic. And I said to the mechanic, hey, my check engine light's been on forever. Also, my gas mileage isn't great. And I shared with him a bit more about what was going on with my car. Some symptoms I'd noticed as I drove it. Some things about how it operated that I noticed were different from how it had been in years past. He quickly made a guesstimate about what might be going on, but said, let's evaluate and find out for sure, because I have a feeling this is something. Let me do some checking. And he ran some tests. Sure enough, within an hour, we discovered that there was a problem with my car. There was a reason for the check engine light to come on. He was able to fix it. It wasn't all that costly. I mean, cars are never cheap, but it wasn't all that costly, and it resolved the problem immediately. My gas mileage returned to the however hundreds of miles I get per tank, and hasn't been a problem since. And I was really happy that I finally figured that out. However, I started thinking about how much money and stress I had wasted letting the problem fester for close to 2 years, not wanting to deal with it, not being courageous enough or confident enough or sure enough that my gut was right, that I should keep looking at this, that I should try to find out what the solution is. And thinking about how much gas mileage I wasted, how much money I threw away, filling my car up with gas, not getting anywhere near the gas mileage I should be getting for it, and just accepting that for years. When I realized that, it really drives home the message to me that there are signals and symptoms we can be paying attention to with our bodies, our cars, our relationships, and our life. Why don't we do that sometimes? Because quite often, the solution isn't all that scary, hard, or expensive, and the outcome is that you become more functional, more efficient. And that's not just about cars. Think about your body becoming more functional and efficient when you address some of the things that you know just aren't working great. Think about your relationship or your family becoming more efficient and functional when you address some of the things that you know just aren't ideal, just aren't optimal for the way you're building a relationship or a family. And think about how much peace of mind I would have had for those 2 years had I just finished it, figured it out, not rested and been relentless until I found what the actual problem was. Sure, that first mechanic and those first few mechanics were experts, but I'm an expert too. And I have intuition, and I have the ability to Google things, and I have the ability to find people to teach me things. I have the ability to find other people who can help me with stuff like this most recent mechanic did. We have that ability with our bodies, with the food we put in our body, with our movement practice, with our relationships, with everything in our life. Think about how much more freedom we have, both in our mind and in our body and in our life, when we're functioning optimally and really making the most out of what we have, instead of just dragging along, like in my case, every time I got in my car, that check engine light was on. That to me is akin to like every time you lift weights, you know your low back is gonna hurt. And you just go into it, hoping it doesn't get worse, hoping it's not really expensive to fix, hoping it's just gonna be okay, but it's always there, distracting you. Or knowing the way your work life is set up right now isn't allowing you to do the things that you wanna do, whether it's fitness, movement, family time, spouse time, or anything else. Knowing that every day, going, man, I know this is a problem, I know this is a problem, I know this is a problem, and not taking action. So, if you can get anything out of this story that I shared with you, please do, because it is slightly embarrassing to talk about not being the best caretaker of my car that I could be, despite being a grown adult who should know how to do that. The fact that I wasted a lot of money, and that I wasted a lot of my own stress not finding a solution for something that I absolutely could have found a solution for sooner. If you can take anything from that lesson, I hope that you will. A few lessons I think are most valuable to get out of this are: trust your gut. Even if you don't know all the answers. I mean, I'm not a mechanic, but my gut was like, something's not right here. Trust your gut. Listen to your body's cues, or the cues of whatever you're dealing with around you, your relationship, your family, your food, your sleep, your work, the way you spend your time. Listen to those cues. Your body is always a part of that signal response situation that I talk about in my book, The Movement Manifesto, and in my program, The Unbreakable Body. You're always in that. Listen to those signals, because they'll cue you in as to how you might be able to respond in a way that makes your situation better.